Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Happy Purim. Feast day. We're going to have a good time? We're going to have a good time? Okay, let's do it. I want to do a 1-hour class. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give a little narration, a little rundown on the book of Esther and the events that happened during the time of Esther that brought about the Feast of Purim, right? And you know by the feats of Esther, Esther became great in her activities, right? And by her movements and her actions, she saved the Israelites by the power of the Most High, okay, because they was assigned to be executed. Everywhere they was at under the Persian Empire, under 127 provinces, they were to be executed and put to death. But because of Esther showing you that the Most High was in this operation the whole time from the very beginning. Now, we know Esther was a great sister in the scriptures. Now, on the sister side, usually I just teach my class, right? But on the sister side, we had Esther was a great sister, according to the Bible. Name me some other sisters by show of hand. Okay, Deborah, Judith, Hannah. Okay, you know Samuel's mother. Okay. Who? Jael. Okay, that they killed the. Okay. Any other sisters? Y'all not gonna speak about your mothers? No, Rebecca. Speak about Rebecca, because if it wasn't for Rebecca, y'all probably wouldn't even got the birthright. So Rebecca, Sarah, your mother Sarah. Okay, you had quite a few sisters that was putting in righteous work back then, Okay, so the Most High can use whoever he wants to use. If you want to go on a little feminine side, the Most High can do that too. But he'll put that spirit in it to make it great. Okay, so let's go into this narration of Purim. And we're going to read from Esther, the book of Esther, the first chapter. Now, H.O.D.C, that was the Persian king. He gave a feast. Now, in this feast, he's drinking, having a good time, getting married, him and his men of war. They having a good time. So he calls his wife Vashti, the queen, to come and dance for him, to show her beauty. She was very, very beautiful to look upon. So he kicking back and he said, look, call my queen in. And I want her to show her beauty before these men. I done showed them everything else in the kingdom. I want them to see my wife now. I know they're going to say, wow. I showed them everything, my power, everything in this kingdom. But now I want them to see my wife. But Vashti refused to come. So Vashti was disposed. She was removed. Now, Esther is made queen. Now, Mordecai, I'm just running some of the history down. Now, Mordecai saved the king's life because there were two conspirators that was plotting to kill the king. But Mordecai heard them, and he went and told the king, and that saves the king's life, okay? Now, Haman's plot. Haman didn't bow. Mordecai didn't bow to Haman because Haman was like a top official in the kingdom. And he wanted everybody to bow down to him, to give honor to him. But Mordecai wouldn't do that. So Haman had hatred for Mordecai, and he wanted to kill Mordecai. So what happened, Haman and his subjects, they cast Pur, which became Purim. They cast Pur, which meant that the Israelites were to be destroyed by Haman's suggestion. Now, letters were sent into all the king's province to destroy the Israelites. Now, Esther prepare a banquet and invite the king and Haman. Now, Haman is advised to be a gallows for Mordecai to be hanged. Y'all following me? Okay, now, the king couldn't sleep that night. And when he couldn't sleep, he tossing and turning because it was something in his spirit. The spirit was bothering him. That was the Most High. So what the king did, he called his men and say, go get my chronicles. Go get my records. And he checked his records, and the records reveal that Mordecai had told the king about the conspirators that was trying to kill him. He had recorded that. And because he couldn't sleep, it brought back that memory by him checking the records that, oh, this is what Mordecai did. I got to do something for this man. Okay, now let's move from there. So the king honors Mordecai. And the king asks Haman, what should be done to the man that I will honor? But Haman is so high-minded, so prideful, that he thought the king was talking about him. But the king was talking about who? Mordecai. So Haman told the king, well, dress him in purple. He gave him all the best, but it wasn't for him. It was for Mordecai. Okay? Now, Esther tells the king that Haman is trying to destroy her people. Now, when Esther tells the king gets upset. So the king walks out. Haman is on the bed with Esther pleading his cause. So guess what? The king walks in and he said, you want to kill her people and you want my wife too? So he walked in at the right time, but what he saw was the wrong visions, right? So he said, you trying to take my wife too? Now, when we read on down, Haman is hanged. So his suggest to kill Mordecai or to hang Mordecai and destroy the Israelites was overturned to his family and himself being killed. So now the king granted the Israelites in every province, it was 127 provinces, that for them to stand up and fight and protect themselves. Okay, so that's where we at now. So let's start the what? Yeah, you gonna read? Okay. So let's start the class up. Let's go to 1 Samuel. You got the mic, or you gonna give him that? Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the book of Esther. The book of Esther. We're gonna start with the first chapter, and my reader's gonna read from the first verse all the way to the 9th verse. I want you to read that loud and clear. Okay, the book of Esther, the first chapter, from the first verse all the way to the 9th verse.
Okay, Salah.
You ain't there yet?
No,
okay,
Salah.
Still waiting on you.
All
right. We not quite there yet. Hey. We're not there quite yet. Matter of fact, that's Gil Scott Heron. Okay. Look in the contents. Look in the table of contents.
Okay, Carl.
Okay.
Ezra? Is it Ezra? It's before Kings. Esther.
The book of Esther.
Okay, Carl. Salah.
Come up to the front, Karak, because I'm going to pass that mic to you. Come up. You got Esther?
Yeah, come.
Okay. Come on, get me the book of Esther, first verse to the 9th verse.
All right, where the book of Esther?
There. Stay back there. Don't come up here. Stay back there.
We're in the book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 1.
Come on.
Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus.
Right.
This is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia.
India even unto Ethiopia. I'm going to come back to you, Shaquat. Okay. Stay focused. Okay. Read on.
From India even into Ethiopia, over 120 provinces.
Come on.
That in those days when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace.
Right.
In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants.
Okay.
The power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him.
Get that book and get them verses, Shaquat. Hurry up and get it, because I'm getting ready to switch him. Okay.
All right. Verse
Continue
4.
to read. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Read 3 again.
Verse 3. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him.
Come on.
When he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days.
Okay, that's what 180 days was. What 180 days? They getting busy. They having a good time. Okay, come on.
Verse 5. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan, the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days in the court of garden of the king's palace.
Okay, so when the king is giving this feast, and the scriptures say that he invited his princes and servants, and it's also say in the 3rd verse, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and prince of the province being before him. So at this time, the history is that the Greek name of Ahasuerus is Xerxes. He was Xerxes the first. You see that? We're going to go over that later. Now, he invited them to his kingdom. They was planning, they was planning the attack against the Greeks. If you remember the wars between the Persians and the Greeks, they were violent, bloody wars. So this is a planning for the battle. The battle was called the Battle of Thermopylae. That was in 480 BC. So I'm going to give you some dates, right? So get your pen and paper ready and get ready to write, because I think Sabah has some gifts to give you, brothers and sisters. But we're not just going to give you no gifts tonight. Okay, you got to answer some questions. Okay, you don't know the answer, you ain't getting those gifts, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Take your notes and listen, and we're going to go over this class so you can get your Purim gifts. Huh? All right. So this was a plan for the Battle of Thermopylae, which was in 480 BC. Now, let's look at some of the Persian kings. Cyrus II, from 550 to 530 BC. And you have Cambyses II, from 530 to 522 BC. Cambyses was the Persian king that took over Egypt. He was the king that used cats in his army because the Egyptians worshiped the cat, and they looked at the cat Bastet, as a god. So they refrained from fighting because they honored and had respect for the cats, right? That was Cambyses II. And you had another Persian king called Pseudo-Smyrtis from 530, Pseudo-Smyrtis from 522 BC. Then you had Darius I from 522 to 486 BC, and then Xerxes I from 486 to 464 BC. So let's go back into the scriptures. Read the 3rd verse again. Esther, 1st chapter, and the 3rd verse. Read that again.
That's not. All right. We're in the book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 3.
Tell you what. Give him that mic.
All right.
Okay.
Get up there.
Right. Put the mic on, and we're going to read from Esther, the 1st chapter,
verse 3.
and read verse 3.
All right. Reading from the book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 3.
Come louder. Come on.
In the 3rd year of his reign.
Okay. In the 3rd year of Ahasuerus, who was Xerxes, the 3rd year of his reign. So his years was from 486 to 464 BC. Now let's count his 3rd year. We're not going to count right at 486. We're looking at what, 485, 484. Let's look at 483. Okay. Now the Battle of Thermopylae was in what, 480. Right. So he's making preparations for this Battle of Thermopylae, right? That was around Greece in 480 BC. Now, from here, I don't want no more of that. That's good.
Okay.
Let's deal with Ahasuerus' name. Y'all better write this down. The Greek name that he was called is called Xerxes. If you need me to spell something, just raise your hand and let me know. Oh, y'all hand went up fast, huh? Okay, Xerxes is Xerxes. Xerxes. That X is a Z. It's pronounced with a Z. Xerxes, right? So it's Xerxes. Now, the old Persian language, his name is K-Saryazan. K-Saryazan. K-H-S-A-Y-A-R-S-A-N. K-Saryazan, okay? Now, in the Akkadian, his name is Ahsiarsu. Ahsiarsu. A-H-S-I-A-R-S-U-S-U. Okay? You got it? Did I go so fast? Okay. Ahsiarsu in the Akkadian. A-H-S-I-A-R-S-U. Okay? And in the Hebrew, it's Ahasuerus. A-H-A-S-U-E-R-U-S. Okay, those are the four names. And he fought, one of the battles was the Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BC. If y'all watched the movie called 300, y'all know about that movie, right? He was fighting the Spartans.
Right.
Now, the 300 were Spartans. They were related to the seed of Abraham. They was brothers to the Israelites. Okay, from Abraham's wife Keturah. See, the 300 was a part of the Israelite. They was family. So they was on the front line battling. So when you watch that movie, it's Leonidas and it's Xerxes. Those are the figures that's in that movie. Those two are recorded in history. And we're going to show you some slides. Now, the Persian had 4 capitals. If you know the kingdom of Judah, that's us, right? What was Judah's capital? Give me some hands. What was Judah's capital? Jerusalem. And the northern kingdom, they had a capital. What was their capital? Samaria. But the Persians had 4. Now, one of the capitals was Susa, which is Sushan. And then you had Persepolis, which is in modern day Iran, and Ecbatana, which they got from the Medes, and then Persagada, and then Babylon. When they took down the Babylonians, they actually took Babylon and they made that, okay, that's one of our capitals too, okay, because they took that, right? And that was around what time? What time period? In 530, approximately 539 BC, right? Okay, can you pull up Persepolis? Blow it up a little bit so they can look at it. Okay, that was one of the capitals. That's modern day Iran, because the Persians are who? The Iranians. Okay, they were actually called the Persians. Iran, that name didn't come until later. Okay, they are the descendants of that great Persian empire. Cyrus the First, Cyrus the Second. They were great people. So the Israelites were great people too. And there's a lot of Israelite history over in Iran. You got shrines of Esther, you got shrines of Mordecai over in Iran. We're gonna show that later too. Okay, everybody see that? Okay, we're gonna move forward. Did I tell you to get Ecbatana? I didn't tell you to get that. What about Persagada? I didn't tell you to get that? Did I tell you to get Susa? Shushan? Okay, pull that up. Blow that up a little bit and let them look at it. See that? See, America is on a low level of living. They was living great back then, brother. They was doing great things. See, we think the ancient time, they wouldn't wear no clothes, a little diaper on, sandals with corns on your toes and all that. No, it wasn't like that, brother. No, they didn't have no Timbers and all that, but they had the real skin, they had the real deal. They was dealing not in no paper money, they was dealing in corn, silver and gold and all that, brother. Okay, so we're behind time. Okay, now let's move from there. Now remember that third year of Ahasuerus, who was Xerxes, was what we said 483 BC, right? And the Battle of Thermopylae was in 480 BC. Now Esther becomes queen in 478. So he went and fought that battle before Esther became queen. And in 472 BC was the plot with Haman against the Israelites. See that? But you still had Israelites that stayed in Persia. See, you got to look at it on a spiritual level. The Most High had it set up that way. Because when the Persians took down who now? The Babylonians. Right. The almighty Babylonian Empire. Now, when they took them down, and remember when Cyrus the Persian allowed the Israelites to go back into Jerusalem, to build Jerusalem, the temple and the walls? A lot of the Israelites coming out of Babylon, they were staying in Persia. A lot of them didn't go back to Jerusalem. A lot of them stayed in Persia. Mordecai was one. Esther was one. That's how Esther did her thing. See, that's how she was close with the king. That was set up by the Most High. See, because you had Israelites that stayed back. See, they stayed back. Now, when we talk about Haman, Haman was a descendant of the Amalekites. And the Amalekites go all the way back to the time of King Saul. Remember when the Most High said, I would blot out the remembrance of the Amalekites. And when King Saul was given an order to kill and take out the Amalekites, but what did King Saul do?
He let him go.
He saved the king alive. Let's go and read that. Let's go to 1 Samuel. Before we go to there, let's go to Esther. You in there? Let's just turn a few pages over. Okay. Esther, the 3rd chapter, verse 1 to 2.
Reading from the book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1.
Come on.
After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite.
See, Haman, the Agagite. Read on.
And advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
Okay, now let's go to the book of Samuel. 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, we're going to read the 7th verse to the 9th. And keep in mind, is Haman the who? The who?
The Agagite.
Okay, y'all want them gifts, right? Haman the who?
Agagite.
All right. Okay, y'all think for these gifts. You're not just going to get them. You got to think for these gifts. We're going to have a little quiz. 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, and from the 7th to the 9th verse.
Okay.
When you get it, call out and read it.
Right. Reading from the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 7.
Come on.
And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah.
Come on.
Until thou camest to Shur.
Come on.
That is over against Egypt.
Let's go.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
Now, was that part of the order? No, you take them all out.
Correct.
Just because the king is in a position and he's top man, you don't save him. You take him out too. Go ahead.
And utterly destroy all the people with the edge of the sword.
Come on.
But Saul and the people spared Agag.
See, Saul and who?
And the people.
And the people, but Saul was in charge. Okay, you ain't got no people. No, it's about you, Saul. It ain't about and the people, because Saul paid for that. Read on.
And the best of the sheep and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly.
Now read the 10th verse.
Then came the word of the Most High unto Samuel, saying,
Oh, that's a problem now. See, Saul started dealing with the king and said, man, this guy's not so bad after all. Look at all these sheep and lamb, man. Can I have some of these? You know, so that was the wrong move, You understand? So let's move from here. Let's go back to Haman trying to destroy the Israelites. Now, Purim is the plural for Pur, which it means lot. The lots cast by Haman, he cast lots to what? To choose a suitable day to kill and execute the Israelites. So the lots, they can be with bones, animal bones, stones. So that's what the lots were, but they was doing that on a level where let's pick a day to kill these people. Okay, it wasn't just one day. Okay, they was meeting, doing this thing. Okay, got to get rid of these Israelites, man. Mordecai wouldn't bow down to me. I'm sacking in, the king gave me promotion and so forth. Now, the king, or Haman went to the king to issue a decree. And even today, Israel was dealing with casting lots way back. We even do that today, right? You look at some of the gangs, they take a coin, heads or tails. You casting lots. Or what decision, who should get the ball first? Okay, that's casting lots too. Wow. Heads or tails. Joshua did it in order to give what land to who or what tribe. Casting lots. They did it with Yahushua. Okay? Now, casting lots is not just something that we will look at as stones and bones or some dice or something like that, or pulling the straw and stuff like that, or sticks. It involved certain curious arts. You see what it said? Astrology. See, Haman was going deeper into what? The astrology. They was going into that to make decisions on how to deal with the Israelites. See, they was going deeper into like the left-handed satanic part of that casting lots. See, they was going deep into this thing because in Haman's mind, he hate these people. He hate Mordecai. He wants to see Mordecai hung, executed, and dead, and he wanted his people, wherever they're at in the Persian Empire, I want these people dead. So let's go and do our little seances. Let's go and call on our gods, because Haman was pagan. He wasn't under the Most High. So yeah, it was more to just casting lots. He went deeper into this thing in dealing with Satanism. Okay, dealing with the stars and all that, chants and all that. Yeah, to get rid of a people, the Hebrew Israelites. But Esther stepped in. Y'all big sister stepped in.
That's right.
See, I asked y'all when the class started, name me some more great sisters, but I can't believe y'all left out y'all two mothers, Sarah and Rebecca. Y'all wouldn't be chosen. I mean, Jacob wouldn't have been chosen if it wasn't for Rebecca. Okay, let's move from here. Give me a picture of the shrine of Mordecai and Esther. I believe it's in Hamadan, Iran. Blow it up a little bit. I was watching some other pictures of the shrine. Inside that, they have like two coffins. One for Esther and one for Mordecai. Now, what tribe were they from? Give me some hands. What tribe were they from?
Judah.
I got to go. Benjamin, right.
Oh, okay.
So were they sisters and brothers, or were they married, or what were they? What was Mordecai to Esther? Okay, there you go. That's what I want to hear. Y'all want these gifts, right? That's what I want to hear. Okay. The tribe of Benjamin. Now, inside the shrines, it's like two coffins. One for Esther and Mordecai, right? Now, pull up a picture of Susa, Shushan. That's where the Israelites was living. I mean, they was all over, 120 provinces. Israelites been all over this world. Israelite got some relics, got something in damn near every country. Right. They digging up something concerning the Israelites in every country on this planet, man. That's why we say Israelites scattered in the four corners of the earth. That's right. You may have some Israelites that don't know no better, maybe wearing that little old red dot in the middle of their head. They don't know no better. The Israelites is into everything. God. Under the sun, everything. Because they don't know. God. Then when you try to teach them, you know, some of them don't want to know. God. You understand? Did you get that, Sushan? Blow it up a little bit. Okay, let's go from here. Y'all see that? Let's go to did I ask you to get a picture of the gate of all nations? Did I send that to you? Because in that Persian Empire is the gate of all nations, where it's certain sections that you can go through to get into that empire, whether you got a lot of money or you on this level, what level, okay, that's the gate you go through. Like door number one, you know, it's different gates. Did you get that? Okay, and then you got the images right there. See, you got Persian images and you got some of the Assyrians sort of look like the Persians as well, you know, their dress code. Because the Assyrians, remember I was speaking about the prophet Jonah, when the Most High gave Jonah an order to go into Nineveh to teach the Assyrians, and Jonah didn't want to go, and he fled. Mm-hmm. How in the heck a prophet gonna run from his God? It's a prophet. But Jonah knew the history of the Assyrians. They were brutal. And he knew that. He didn't like them at all. Wow. He said, well, Lord, if you're going to destroy them, why should I go? For them to repent. But there may have been Israelites in that empire too, that the reason that he was going there. You know, but I'm going to check into that more and come back and do a class on it. But when Jonah went into Nineveh, the king put on sackcloth, the king fast, the animals fast, everything. Because they was catching attacks from all sides. And then there was like some supernatural events that was going down in their kingdom that it was easy for them, okay, this is coming from God. Okay, let's move from here. Did you get them all? You got them all? Good. Okay, pull up a picture. We did speak about Leonidas, the Spartan. Pull up Leonidas monument in Thermopylae. Spartan. Because in the history, it was said that Leonidas and the Spartan, if you put 10 of anybody against one of them, that's about equal. That's equal. 10 Persians against one Spartan. Okay, it's an equal fight. Because they can take out at least one man, can take out at least about 10. But now you 100 to, you know, it may not prevail. Right. Because they were fighters. See that? Y'all see that image? Okay. Now, so you didn't have, we showed Persepolis, you didn't have Passagadad. You didn't have that. Okay. Pull up the tomb of Cyrus the Persian. You remember when the Most High spoke about Cyrus in the book of Isaiah, right? Y'all know where those scriptures at? Y'all read those scriptures? When the Most High spoke about Cyrus being his shepherd. Can the Most High do that? You know, but we'll try to link scriptures and then make that fit an Israelite. But there was Cyrus the Persian. And the Most High said, who called the righteous man? That was Cyrus the Persian.
God,
Yeah. And he said, a ravenous bird from the east.
God,
Ravenous because he was unclean. See? But he was there to do the Most High's work.
God.
And reading in the Josephus reads when Cyrus touched down, when he came up to the Israelites, that he was shown in the history that he was that guy. And it was prophesied from the book of Isaiah, okay, this the guy. In the history, it was written that he would do what the Most High said that he would do. So he allowed the Israelites to return back to their land.
Temple.
See, to build the temple,
God.
to build the walls. Yeah. Okay. You got to blow that up, the tomb of Cyrus. Okay. Yeah, the history is out there, brothers and sisters. The history is out there. Now, from here, let's go. Let's go back into the book of Esther. Let's read the 16th verse, and we're going to go into a little something else, and then we're gonna close. Like I said, I'm not going to be but an hour. We're going to close.
What chapter?
And we're going to feast. The 9th chapter, start from the 16th verse. But before we do that, I was watching this movie, right? It was about Esther. And when Esther came to the king's court, the king had all the men there, people there, and so forth. And nobody can come unannounced in the presence of the king. And watching that movie or that clip, I think that clip was about 3 minutes long. I'm watching it. Esther walks in. It's in slow motion. She walks in the king's court. And the king is sitting, had his men here, had his guards there. People just lined all the way up, crowded. But she walks in, and it's like she walking slow. She stumbles, drained, fear, because Haman wants to kill her people. So she going to the king to petition. Slow motion as she walking, and you looking at the men, the people that's on the side, like, the hell she doing? She don't pose. She can't do that. So the other men started pointing and yelling like, get her out of here. She can't approach the king. And the bodyguards was reaching for their swords. And as she got closer, the king stood up. Yo, that's my wife. What's going on here? King stood up. Matter of fact, that bodyguard, it was Edomites, but that bodyguard that pulled the sword was a Jake. Wow. Yeah. So she got closer to the king, and she kind of failed. That Jake bodyguard took that sword out, getting ready to take her head off. But the king grabbed it, put it down, and he grabbed Esther. I said, wow, man, that was something, yeah. Yep. Because you cannot approach the king unannounced. He don't know what you're going to do to him. His guards will take you out, man. That guy pulled that sword, getting ready to take her head off. But that's why Mordecai and Esther proclaimed a fast. So she can do that, because she knew that it might have been a chance that she might end up with her head taken off. She might end up being killed because she just can't approach the king. Now, that's her husband. She just can't walk in on him like that, especially when you got other people there, the bodyguards there, and they doing their thing. She can't walk in like that. But they proclaimed a fast for to give her that courage and the strength to do that. And that fast was a fast of salvation. See, because if that wasn't done, Israel would have been wiped out. And to tell you, when the king had, he couldn't really reverse what Haman had put out, because he put his name on it, his signet on it, right? So Haman was already hung. He's gone. So what the king did, he sent letters out To the Israelites, they coming for you. I can't tell them no, my seal is already there, but they coming for you. In every province you at, they coming to take you out. But I will tell you this, you can defend yourselves. And Israel end up taking them out, man. And the scriptures say that a lot of people that was amongst the Israelites, it said what? They became what? They became what? Jews. They became Jews. They converted. They became Israelites out of fear. Out of fear, brothers and sisters. Yeah. Yeah, but it was a little small clip with Esther. The way they dramatized that, man, was like, it had you in it. And when the guy pulled that sword, getting ready to take her head off, the king, at the last second, grabbed his arm, put it down. No, because all the men up in the front was yelling, because they know, no, you're not going, just can't come in here like that. See, just like Vashti. She didn't want to go dance before the king, so the men took that as a disrespect.
Right.
They said, look, we got to have a council, man. We can't let this prevail, because the other women might think that they can do the same thing. So they made it a law. Okay, we're going to come back to that. Go back to the first chapter. Because we didn't finish it. We stopped at the 5th verse. Read the 6th verse. We're going to read from 6 to 9. We didn't finish that. Come on.
Okay. Reading from the book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 7.
6. Yeah.
Right. Where were white, green, and blue hangings fastened with cords of fine linen, and purple to silver rings, and pillars of marble, and the beds were of gold and silver, and upon a pavement of red, blue, and white, and black marble.
And marble, man. See, when you in rulership and in power like that, and you got the riches, you can get anything that you want. Now, this was a pagan. These are pagans. Now, look at our history with King David, Solomon. Solomon had or could have got anything that he wanted, man. Even when he got the different women. The Most High said that's a no-no, but he still gave him a pass until he started bowing down to the women's god. See, a king have the riches to have a palace, to have colors that you can't imagine, because colors connect to, with your spirit. You got your warm colors. You got colors that calm people down. I remember, no, I ain't gonna tell this story. I'm gonna tell it anyway. I remember when I was in the military, we was in a correction facility, right? And it was this one guy that he had got into it with a CO. And they had what was called a pink room. See, you got your barracks there, but they had like a little small room, pink, and had the bars on it, pink bars and everything, a small room. He got into it with a CO, they beat him and put him in that room, and he shaking the bars and keeping up ruckus, and within about an hour, walk by and look at him, he's asleep because of the effects of the colors. So colors have an effect. You got your cold colors, you got your warm colors. Yeah. And the military knows that. See, this was U.S. Navy. They know that. See, they would play with your mindset with colors and certain designs. But kings, they know about the science of colors. They know about the science of shapes. They know about all that. They know about the elements, the sun, the moon, the stars. Solomon knew that. Solomon says Solomon was the wisest. King David knew that. It said King David counsel was just like an angel just told you what to do. King David's advisor, Ahithophel, that him and David went to war because Bathsheba was Ahithophel's granddaughter. Uriah the Hittite was Ahithophel's son-in-law, and David had him murdered. See, so kings know about how to match colors. They know about how to look good. They know about how to live, especially Israelite kings. They know about dressing. They know about styles. They know about throwing feasts, knowing how to have a good time. Remember the Passover, one Passover the Israelites had? It went for the 7 days. They said, no, we're going to do another 7 days. And then people, they having weddings. Okay, we're going to do a wedding. No, we're going to go 2 weeks with this wedding. Y'all ain't got to work. Cool. Okay, the food is here, the drinks is here. We're just going to have a good time for 14 days. Now, we read when Xerxes, the king of Persia, he had his feast going on for what, 180 days. You didn't have to do nothing but go to sleep and wake up and have a good time. Eat, sleep, drink, and have a good time and be merry. But you know, with Israel, you know, you do all that, but you know you got to wake up and respect that Sabbath, right? And respect those feast days that's coming in. And you have to respect the Most High. You just can't eat, sleep, wake up, and do it all over. No, you got to praise the Most High because He's the one that gave it to you.
That's right.
Okay, where we leave off at? 7th verse, right? Read that.
Okay. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold.
See, they'll drink in vessels of gold. They knowing how to get down. They knowing how to live. Read.
The vessels being diverse one from another.
See, tonight we're going to drink out of them old red cups and white cups back there. Take one shot, throw it in the garbage. You ain't going to throw no gold cup in the garbage. The king will tell his God, take his head off. Go ahead.
And royal wine in abundance.
See, royal wine. Read on.
According to the state of the king.
The state of the king, royal wine. Read on.
And the drinking was according to the law.
See, the drinking was according to the law. It was according to the decree that the king made. Give them as much as they want. Let the cup overflow. Whatever you want, give it to them. They want a tub full, give them a tub full. It was according to the law. See, wasn't nobody going to stop you from consuming. You drink abundance. See? According to the king's law. Because you was drinking his royal wine. And his decree was, just give it to him, man. On me. Give it to him. Let him drink. Let him roll over and wake up and do it again. Go ahead.
None did.
What'd you say?
Oh, it's a lot.
Go ahead.
None did compel.
Right. So that compel, it's like you wasn't forcing nobody. Wasn't forcing anybody to try to do anything. And nobody was trying to force or try to control or stop, man. Go ahead.
For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure.
Do to what? According to what?
To every man's pleasure.
Every man's pleasure. You see that, Yaikwat? You would like that, right? Okay. Read on.
Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the woman.
See, Vashti, the queen, she made a feast for the women. They was getting down too. See, they was in their palace doing their thing. But what she messed up at, when the king asks you to come forward and you don't do that, you're gonna have some issues. She was disposed, and then Esther was set up. Okay, so the Most High had that appointed, and he had that lined up just in time, man, in the right order. Okay, that's the Most High. Come on.
Also, Vashti the queen made a feast for the woman in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
Okay, in the royal house, and the house belonged to who?
King Ahasuerus.
Her husband. Everything in that kingdom belonged to him, man. The officers belonged to him. The people belonged to him, just like Judah. The Israelites, when King David was ruling, the people belonged to King David. The kingdom belonged to David. That's why when David messed up, the Most High said, well, David messed up quite a few times, but the Most High sent a prophet to him and said, look, my man, I'm going to give you 3 choices. You can run from your enemies for 3 years. You can have a famine for such and such. Or no, King David said, well, and I'll leave it in your hands, the Most High, whatever you do. Most High sent an angel. The angel started taking Israel out. David said, oh, Lord, no, please. Can you stop this? They didn't do anything. It was me.
Right.
Because the people belonged to David. And the Most High was taking out the people for what David did. David said, I'm the one you want. Take me out. And let me deal with this, not the people. See, the Most High can get you where it stings you, it hurts. Remember when after the flood, when Noah planted a vineyard and he drinking that good wine and got tipsy, and Ham came in, mocked him. Most High said, yeah, I know you're full of that wine, but I'm gonna make your mind clear. Wake up and curse Canaan. See how the Most High do these things?
God.
No, it ain't really gonna be Ham. It's gonna be your generation, Canaan. It's like when David messed up. No, David, I'm gonna get you later. I'm gonna get these people right here. They didn't do anything, man. Could have been somebody that keeps the Sabbath, worship, pray to the Most High, but look, you part of it. Just for the examples to be said. See, that's when a God understands and he know about life and death. See, we get all, well, why did it? Why did the baby? Why did, no, see, we don't understand these things. See, the Most High understand life and death because he didn't have to give it to us.
That's right.
You see that? He didn't have to give us anything. He didn't have to take us through the Red Sea. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to feed us angels' food. He didn't have to do none of that because he understands life and how to live, and he understands death as well, right? Okay, let's go back to Esther, the 9th chapter, and the 16th verse. We're going to get ready to close. I'm not going to keep you all night. But before we get that, I was speaking about Esther's fast. In order to build her confidence and her strength up, they proclaimed that fast. And Esther asked for the Israelites to fast for 3 days. And in the scripture, it tells you that some Israelites did it for 2 days and some did it for 3. And 3 days and 3 nights on Esther's behalf for her to get the strength. She didn't just, well, let me go do, no. She had to get strength to do that. The Most High had to work in her spirit for her to get the courage up, because they know what was going on in the Persian Empire if you violate. In any kingdom, and you violate the king, you step up and he don't know you, and nobody, he didn't, point that scepter at you. You unannounced. Any kingdom, a wicked kingdom, your head is off. Your head is gone. Oh. So she said, pray for me. I'm just going to go in here and to bring salvation to my people. And the Most High will work for his people. Okay. And we have, everybody know about the day of Nicanor. I believe the day of Nicanor is always a day before Purim, right? The day of Nicanor. Do y'all know the history about Nicanor? Y'all know that history? Okay, what nation was Nicanor from? Edom. Who was his king? The Seleucids, right? The Greeks, yeah. I'm gonna help you a little bit. Okay, we good? You saw that? Okay, all right. Okay, now, let's read.
All right. Read it from the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 16. But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives.
See, gathered themselves together and stood for their lives. The king signed those letters. See, he redid what Haman did. See, when a king give an order, as a king and as a man, as respect, they don't blemish their name. If I say that you can put them to death, that's my seal. I'm not going to go back on that. Remember, who was the king of the Herod? I think it was Antipas. When John the Baptist, or when his wife's daughter was dancing for him, and then he said, look, tell me what you want to the end of the kingdom. Anything that you want in this kingdom, I will give to you. And her mother whispered in her ear, ask for John the Baptist's head. And that's what the little girl asked for. And as a king, the scriptures say that the king felt bad, man. He really didn't want to do that. But your word, even Jake in the hood, my word is my bond, They'll cut you in your face, shoot you, and all that about that word. So the king was sad, man. He said, I got this feast going on, got thousands of people here, man. I can't go back on my word because what? They're going to see some weakness. I can't show that. Yeah, I can't show that. Yeah. So when you're a king, you got power like that. You got a heart like that. Because who going to say something to you? See, you got to deal with the Most High himself, like King David. The prophets came to King David. Couldn't nobody else come to David? Now Joab, Joab was coming to King David, but King David was getting tired of Joab. Yeah, Joab, the sword devours one as well as the other. And when I'm gone, I'm going to tell my son Solomon, don't let you go down to the grave in peace. Yeah, so when King David died, Solomon started eliminating all the names that was on that hit list. Benaniah took out Joab. You took him out, right? All right, yeah, Benaniah took him out, man. Okay, go ahead and read.
And slew of their foes 70 and 5,000.
Right.
But they laid not their hands on the prey.
Right, go ahead.
On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested day.
13 to 14 day, that's what, 2 days, right? Go ahead. And made.
Salah. And made it in a day. Salah.
I got to get you something, brother. You all right?
Salah.
Okay, go ahead, read now.
All right.
Before I have to summons up one of these kings.
And made it a day of feasting and gladness.
Right, go ahead.
But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof,
and
on the 15th day of the same they rested and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
Okay, so look, feast days like the Feast of Lights, the Purim, came about. Matter of fact, a lot of our feast days came about a way of warfare, a way of bloodshed, and a lot of people don't like to hear us speak about revolution, death, and bloodshed. But this feast today, it came about that way, because what they wanted to kill us, so the Most High reversed it. We killed them, right? Right? Okay. Read on.
Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month of Adar a day of gladness and feasting and a good day, and of sending portions one to another.
See, that's what we're gonna do tonight, right?
Con.
We gonna do that tonight?
Con.
Y'all gonna answer them questions? Okay, read on.
And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far,
right,
to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same yearly.
Okay. And the reason was for what? Go ahead.
As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, right, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy.
To joy, because they survived. They got a permit to fight their enemies. Read.
And from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor.
And gifts to the poor. Now, we do have feast days like Purim. It's not recorded in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. I mean, matter of fact, we have quite a few of them, but a lot of these feast days that's not recorded are revolutionary feast days. They came about the way of warfare. You see that? But the Most High didn't tell them don't do it. So the Most High was with Esther in this. He was with that fast because it sustained and protected the Israelites. Come on, and he worked on the mind of a heathen king, Xerxes the First. It was good he couldn't sleep that night. He said, well, there's something going on here. And he got his chronicles, got his record, said, oh, Mordecai. I never rewarded Mordecai, man, and he saved my life. These two guys tried to assassinate me, and he told me about it. And I had them killed first. Same thing with Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate's wife, they were sleeping in the bed. His wife said, honey, what are you trying to do with this innocent man? She was talking about H.O.D.C. That man is innocent. Yeah, spirit was working. But to crucify H.O.D.C. to execute him, it had to come to pass. And part of the program was letting Barabbas out. Barabbas, his name sounds just like H.O.D.C. The son of the Father, Barabbas. Right. And H.O.D.C. is son of the Father. Save you for the nation, right? Continue.
And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them, because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them,
right,
and had cast Pur, that is the lot, to consume them and to destroy them.
Right.
But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head.
See, so he flipped that. He flipped it. He put that seal on it. Okay, y'all do what y'all got to do, you Hebrews. Go ahead.
And that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows.
Okay, read the 26 and we're going to close.
Wherefore they called these days Purim,
right,
after the name of Pur.
Right, lots. Go ahead.
Therefore, for all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them.
Okay, read that 27 verse.
Okay. The Jews ordained and took upon them, and upon their seed, and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing, and according to their appointed time every year.
Every year. Let's read the 28th too, man.
Okay, come. And that these days should be remembered and kept throughout.
Should be what? Remembered and kept. Read.
Every generation.
Every generation. Okay, we are generation. We here now. Yeah, go ahead.
Every family. Every province.
Wherever you at. Read on.
And every city. That these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews.
Right.
Nor the memorial of them that perish from their seed.
From their seed. And brothers and sisters, I would say the water and shalom. Let's enjoy the Purim.
Shalom.
That's it, Zaquan? We're not done yet now. I mean, you can cut us off, Zaquan.